Hello everyone. In the previous video we started the functions of Reserve Bank of India. In this video we will continue with the function of Central Bank, that is Reserve Bank of India. This is the topic that we are covering under the chapter Commercial and Central Bank in India. So the previous some other functions that we have seen. The last function what we were covering in the video was the controller of money supply and credit. This is one of the very important function that Reserve Bank of India performed. What it performs, it controls the money supply and credit supply in the economy so as to control the situation of various problems which can be erased because of less control of money supply. What are the problems which can be erased? There are problems with the name inflation, depression and boom. What happen in a business cycle when there is full employment? In case of a full employment, the business activities moves in a fluctuating, in a cyclical way. Business activity moves in a cyclical way, so they fluctuates, and these denotes different, this is known as business cycle, and this denote different kinds of phases. There is a phase which is known as boom, there is a phase which is known as recession, this phase is known as recovery, and in this way the on inflation. So to control such situation of depression or inflation, recession is also known as depression and inflation in economy, it is very necessary to control the money supply and credit supply. To control the money supply and credit supply, there are certain instruments that Reserve Bank of India is using. These are known as monetary policies, and instrument under monetary policy we have discussed repo rate, bank rate and reverse repo rate. In this video what we are going to discuss is the open market operation. Open market operation is another instrument of Reserve Bank of India through which RBI performs the functions of money supply and credit. How it performs? As it is says, open market operation, it's a market. Open market operation refers to buying and selling of government securities by the central bank from or to the public and commercial banks. What happen in open market operation? There are number of securities. So RBI, the Central Bank of India, perform this function. They either purchase this security from commercial bank and general public, or they sell this security to commercial bank and general public. It depends on the situation of the economy what to do, whether to purchase or to sell. For example, we can say the sale of securities or the purchase of security. What will happen if there will be sale of security by Reserve Bank of India? If RBI is selling securities to commercial bank and general public, it is necessary and compulsory. There are certain guidelines also. It is necessary and compulsory for commercial bank and general public also to purchase such security when if RBI is selling. As they will be purchasing security, so their money now will be with RBI and they will keep the security with them. It will reduce the money supply. So RBI reduce the reserve of commercial bank by sale of security. I hope the concept of sale of security is clear. RBI will sell the securities, so commercial bank will keep the security with them. For keeping this security they have to pay the money, and if they will pay the money to RBI, so their reserve will reduce. If their reserve will reduce, so it will reduce the money supply, they can lend less money in the market. Another case is the purchase of security. If in market there is deficit demand, there is a situation of depression, means the country do not have that much economic growth. In order to boost the economic growth of the country, what RBI can do is the purchase of securities. While RBI will purchase the securities, now RBI will pay money to commercial bank. Now the commercial bank's reserve will increase and they can lend more money. So in this way RBI increases the reserve of commercial banks, increases money supply. It increases money supply. I hope the concept of open market operation, where purchase and sales of various government security, treasury bills are done in order to control the money supply. In case of excess money supply, there will be sale of security. In case of deficit money supply in market, there will be purchase of securities. Let us move to next function. The next function over here is the legal reserve requirement. Now legal reserve requirement means there are different kind of reserves which are legally required by commercial banks to make. So this is all. Legal reserve requirement is also known as variable reserve requirement or variable reserve method. Why it is known as variable reserve method? Because this varies. This can be changed according to terms and condition or the condition of the economy. According to legal reserve requirement, commercial banks are obliged to maintain reserve. They have to maintain. It is mandatory for them to maintain such a reserve. There are two reserve under this. The first reserve is CRR, which is known as cash reserve ratio. Now, cash reserve ratio refers to minimum percentage of net demand and time liabilities or deposits to be kept with by the commercial bank with the central bank. Suppose if there is a total demand and time deposits of commercial bank of different commercial banks or in an economy is suppose 10,000 crores, then if there is total time and demand deposit is of 10,000 crore, then the CRR fixed rate is fixed by the Reserve Bank of India. If CRR is 4.75%, means out of this 10,000 crore, 4.75% of money in form of cash commercial bank will keep with RBI. CRR means the amount of reserve that of the amount of reserve of time and demand deposits of commercial bank that commercial bank will keep with Reserve Bank of India, say 4.75%. So out of total deposits of 10,000 crore, 4.75% money in cash commercial bank will keep with RBI. So this will reduce their reserve, increasing CRR and decreasing CRR. If CRR will increase, so it will reduce the reserve with commercial bank. If the reserve will reduce, the lending capacity will reduce. So CRR is increased to control the excess money supply, and CRR is decreased to control the deficit money supply. If in an economy there is situation of depression, economics is not doing good, so CRR rate will be reduced. It will be reduced so that commercial bank will keep less money with RBI and they will have more money with them, so to lend more. Let us move to next concept. The next concept is known as SLR. The word SLR stands for statutory liquidity ratio. Now under this ratio refers to minimum percentage of net demand and time liabilities deposits which commercial banks are required to maintain with themselves. This is the difference. CRR is maintained with RBI. Commercial bank keep this money with RBI, but in case of SLR, this is the money of total net and time deposit with commercial bank keep with them. CRR most of the time is in form of cash, whereas SLR is not only in cash but it can be in securities, treasury bills, or it can be in form of golds. Most of the time the rate of CRR is some around 4% and all. It will be some around 4%. But the rate of SLR will be between 24 to 40% of total deposits. Hope the concept of CRR and SLR is clear too. Okay, then let us move to next function. The next the next methods to control the monetary requirement, because these all things what we are discussing is the function of controller of money supply. Under controller of money supply and credit, this is the function. Under this function we are discussing monetary policy. Under monetary policy we have discussed repo rate, bank rate, reverse repo rate. Today we have covered open market operation. Then we have covered legal reserve requirement. Under legal reserve requirement, CRR, SLR, and now there is one more method to control the credit function is the margin requirement. Through margin requirement also the money supply and credit is controlled in an economy. Now margin means difference. In your copy notebook, suppose this side, this what is this? This side is known as margin. This side is known as margin. It's a reserve used for several other purpose. Writing answer number, question number and all. So it's a margin. Suppose if the margin is this much, means you have this left portion to control. Out suppose this is the whole notebook. So out of this whole notebook area, if this one, say this is 20% of the whole notebook, so this 20% is as a margin. If this is a margin, what portion you can use? You can use the remaining 80% portion. This portion you can use for writing. This will be as a reserve. The same way margin requirement is over here. Margin is the difference amount of loan and market value of the securities offered by the borrower against the loan. Say if I wish to take a loan, and for this loan I have to keep some securities. If I am keeping my papers of my, suppose my buildings is there, I have one building, so I am keeping the papers of my building. So what will happen? They will grant me loan. If they will grant me loan on the basis of the market value of this building. Suppose the market value of this building is 30 lakh. So they will not lend me 30 lakh, full 30 lakh, but they will lend me less amount than this 30 lakh. Say if they are lending me 20 lakh only. So remaining 10 lakh is the margin. 10 lakh is the margin. They are lending me 20 lakh and 10 lakh is the margin. I hope the concept of margin is clear to you. So margin is the difference between the amount of loan and market value of the securities offered by the borrower against the loan. Okay, then for example margin is 40%, then commercial bank give a loan up to 60% of the value. So if margin is 40%, then commercial bank give a loan up to 60% of the value. Hope the concept of margin is clear to you. Now the money supply in an economy can also be controlled with an increase in margin or reduce in margin. Increase in margin reduce the borrowing capacity of the money supply. Over here what I told you, the margin was of 10 lakh. It is in percent, so margin is 10 lakh, say it is 25% or 30%. Then if you are supposed to reduce the money supply, then margin will increase. If margin is 15 lakh now, so what will be the amount to lend? The remaining only 15 lakh will be the amount to be lent. In this way, increase in margin reduce the borrowing capacity of the money supply. A fall in margin and people can also borrow money. A fall in margin requirement. If there is a margin requirement reduces, suppose there was 10 lakh margin requirement, now the margin requirement is 5 lakh. Then if margin requirement is 5 lakh, then it can increase the pupils to borrow more. There are other instruments also for credit controls, which are moral suasions and selective credit controls. In other instrument for credit control, like moral suasions and selective credit control. What is moral suasion? In moral suasion, RBI used to pressurize sometime, and sometime also they guide or morally this try to control the situations of excess or deficit money supply. Morally they are like they are making some discussions, debates, or some kind of information guidelines they are providing to commercial bank and general public to control their money supply and all. Next is the selective credit control. Under selective credit control, it is not necessary to control the whole economy, because inflation or deflation is not same for all economy. There are different sectors in economy. Suppose there is agriculture sector, or there we have industry sector or service sector. So the inflation or depressions might be different for different sectors. So selective credit control helps to control one sector especially. Okay, so I hope this other instrument of credit control is also clear to you. For your better understanding, let us see over here. RBI divides the credit control methods. This is, and you have to be very careful that from this portion most of the time there are questions. So and even short questions are also there to write, like 1 marks question, repo rate, bank rate, reverse repo rate and all. So credit control methods are broadly divided in two parts: quantitative and qualitative. Quantitative method and qualitative method. The broad division, monetary policies that we have seen, in the monetary policy only, it can be also divided in quantitative and qualitative method. Quantitative method and qualitative method. In quantitative method, all the monetary method that we have discussed will be there. Repo rate will be there, bank rate, reverse repo rate, open market operation, and varying reserve requirement like CRR and SLR. So these all are the portion of quantitative method, because they are focusing in general to whole economy. So that's why they are known quantitative. Why quantitative? Because they are also related with the numbers, quantity, repo rate, bank rate, reverse repo rate. So they are related with the quantity and number. That's why they are known as quantitative method. I hope these methods are clear. Next method is qualitative methods. The other methods that we have seen: margin requirement, moral suasions, selective credit control, they all are the qualitative, because they are not actually related with the numbers but related with the moral suasions and from specific sector. So qualitative, margin requirement, moral suasion and selective credit control. Then if you can check some other difference also. In quantitative method, they are general in nature, means they will be applicable for whole economy, not for one sector. But quantitative, this one, qualitative methods, they are specific in natures. It is not general in nature. This can different. If you are deciding bank rates, the whole economy will suffer. Repo rate, the whole economy have to follow. But by selective credit control, it can be specific in nature. This is one of the traditional method, and this is selective method. Hope the concept of this is clear to you. There is one more concept which is over here, custodian and foreign exchange reserve. What is foreign exchange reserve? At present, India is not just dealing within the country, but now we are in a globalized world where one country deals with several others. So as India, which is dealing with number of other countries, so at a time we are importing and we are exporting. When we are importing any product from other country, so in case of import and export, what we need to make payments. In case of import, we need to make payment in their currency. Say we need to make payment in dollars, or we need to make payments in pounds, euros or dinars, from where whatsoever country the like currency is there. In case of export, we are getting payment in rupees. Hope this concept is clear, import and export. So this is known as foreign exchange, the payment and purchase and sales. So in this way, the central bank also act as the custodian of country's stock of gold and reserve of foreign exchange. For in this chapter, it is a very small topic which is covered over here. In macroeconomics only, there is one of the last chapters which deals completely with the foreign exchange reserve. Over there we will discuss this chapter in detail. For this, I hope the concepts are clear to you. One last topic under this chapter is left, which is the difference between the commercial bank and the central bank. We are talking about difference between central bank, not the Reserve Bank of India. So I hope after like we have discussed the commercial bank and now we have discussed the central bank, after this you will be able to make the clear differentiation between them. Like meaning, its apex body control, operates, regulate, direct entire banking, and it is an institution perform function of accepting deposit, granting loan and making advancement. Then status, it's apex institution, it's the only unit of banking. Ownership, it is owned by government, it is owned by government and private sectors. They are a government commercial bank like SBIs, and at the same time they are a private sector banks like Yes Banks and all. Then objectives, operate in public interest, and this operates to maximize the profit. Issue of currency, it has sole monopoly, but it don't have any such power to issue currency. Public dealing, central bank does not deal with public, they deal with public directly. Number of banks, there is only one central bank in our country, that is the Reserve Bank of India, and in case of commercial bank, there are number of commercial bank in our country. Hope the concept and the videos of this chapter is clear. By this video we come to an end of this chapter. If you have any such confusion and doubt, you feel free to comment also, and you can message me also. There is no such problem and all. By the next videos we will try to continue with the Indian economy chapter 2. Thank you very much. Have a very nice day ahead.